Hello, my name is Shelby. I am a voice instructor at Infinity Visual and Performing Arts. Today I will be going over breathing, why is it important, how you do it, and last, which most people don't touch on, is how to engage it in your practice when it comes to singing. Okay, so point number one, why is breathing important as a singer? It's very obvious that breathing deep is really important for instrumentalists. They have a whole separate mechanism that they have to work with here. So maybe you think that instrumentalists need a little bit more air than singers do. That is not the case at all. Singers actually do have their entire separate instrument. It's just within the body. So why it's important is you cannot make your chords physically touch and come together without breath support and without breath control. In order to have breath support, you have to know how to breathe and you have to know how to engage. First, I wanted to go over, however, the importance of making it through a phrase. Instrumentalists do it all the time. It is very clearly listed in their music by a tie or a slur that this is the completed phrase. This is not the case with singers. We have words to go with. So usually a phrase begins with capitalized word followed by a period or a comma. These indicate your breathing points, and these are only accessible through sheet music. So if you don't have sheet music for something you're learning from a pop singer, listen to where they're breathing. They have chosen the intended times and the intended phrases that they wanted them to complete for a reason. So honor that artist, honor that song, and go with your gut instincts as well if you're not entirely sure. If there aren't any commas or there aren't any periods, or the production is so good that they have completely edited out all of the breathing. Use your instincts. Look at the lyrics. Maybe try to figure out which phrases make the most sense as one, which phrases make the most sense as two. But enough about that. Why is breathing important aside from being able to get through these phrases? It also energizes you. Now, you cannot sing effectively and in tune without energy. How you do that, how I get my energy, is simply by breathing. Usually I do that 3 times for a performance. That just gets the blood going, gets the blood oxygenated, so then I can be set and primed for those really long phrases. Energy is super important because it gets you through a phrase. It also just gets you through the song. It makes your facial expressions that much more effective. It makes the understanding of the words that much more effective. Energy is the base for all music. So if you had a music pyramid, energy would be the biggest and the most important at the very bottom. It's what holds everything else up at the top. You cannot make music without energy. Have energy. Be excited. Get excited about what you're trying to do. And I promise you, the breathing will come when you practice these techniques. First thing I wanted to go over is how do we breathe effectively? How do we breathe correctly? And I wanted to show you 2 different methods. One is if you can lay on the floor, we will do that. I will also show you an against the wall method if you are unable to lay down today. Okay, so this might feel a little bit silly, but this is the task I give all my beginner students their very first lesson. What you want to do is you want to lay on the floor with an object on your stomach, and you want to make it go up and down 3 times. And you want to make sure that it's somewhere a little bit above your hips, but definitely not all the way up here, because this is where we breathe shallow. So what you want to do is you want to either put your hands, towel, stuffed animal, I always say stuffed animal, or a bowl of M&Ms, then you can like reach in and reward yourself if you want, but like you want to breathe so that this goes up and down. And I tell all my beginner students to make sure that they do this 3 times before they move on. So what, just like this. And you can do this with me as well. Notice that you see it rise and fall. You want to make sure that it's doing that. So, against the wall method now goes like this. Let me find a way I can do this. So, if you are unable to lay down and you have to stand against the wall, what you do is you just lean against it like this. You put your stomach there, and then you breathe into the wall. And you can do this with me. Very good. Very good. And if you cannot stand and you cannot lay down, you can also do this method. Hand right here. I like to interlace my fingers a little bit just so you can see them separate. So the reason that you want to observe that towel or the object going up and down 3 times is because your lungs are actually some of the biggest organs in your body. They stretch from all the way up to your shoulders, all the way down to here. So all the way up here, all the way down here. You want to be filling from the bottom up. And if you're having difficulty with this, I strongly suggest that you try to pretend like you're blowing through a very thin coffee stirrer like straw. The air should naturally go to the depths of where your lungs essentially begin, at the very bottom. When you breathe shallow, you are completely cutting off a lot of opportunity for you to get more oxygen in your blood and therefore more energy, which then lets you effectively complete or learn a song. You notice this in babies. Why do we breathe shallow? You ever watch a newborn infant lay on the floor? You see their bellies go up and down. However, as we get older, as we learn how to hunch, as we get bogged down by the stress of life, our breath naturally becomes higher because it's comforting. This is not very comfortable, and it's because it's not natural to us anymore. You have to relearn how to do this. And I strongly recommend just making it a natural part of your everyday life. Practicing breathing is also very important because it's essentially the same thing as bodybuilding when it comes to musicianship. The more that you do it in a conscious way, the easier it is to make it a subconscious or even unconscious mechanism in your practice or in your performance. So I highly recommend that you master breathing first and foremost. It is hard. Everybody, myself included, still works on it. It's never something that you completely master, which I know sounds scary, but also it kind of takes the pressure off in a way. It's going to always give you a new thing to look forward to. If you're ever stumbling in your own musicianship, going back to the breathing and knowing, at least I have this, at least I have this springboard, this diving board to go off of every single time is very reassuring. And that is another reason I strongly encourage you to incorporate it just into your everyday life and to make it a second nature practice for you. All right, so that completes the end of this video. I hope you learned something today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My information is on the website. And happy breathing, happy practicing. Don't forget, this will be over soon, so please keep practicing and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.